will not accept almost $1 million for a new firehouse because we couldn't furnish it. The third thing is, and I keep saying the same things, and of course nothing happens. The third thing is the tavern on Heckle Street. How many times that has been brought up? They still, it's really funny that everybody else that does an infraction, the ABC or the excise board takes care of it. So for some reason, I guess because it's in my ward, it doesn't get taken care of, so they can do whatever they want. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I think that's the state.
It is the state.
It is the state, and I called the state, and the state said that it was up to the excise board. Yes.
Kevin, on something positive for a change. You and I have spoken about in your office. I don't know if you're ready at this point to introduce this to the audience tonight, but we've talked about a movie night, I believe in July. I think you talked about a sing-along movie Frozen. And maybe you can tell us a little more about this. I think it's a wonderful thing. We don't do summer concerts, so this is something in lieu of that.
We had originally looked at June 23rd or June 30th, but unfortunately the 23rd was leaving and a lot of parents, I believe, maybe attending that meeting, so they went. So it's being not having the event on that evening. So what we're going to do is look for some dates in July that the movie is available. Once I have the dates in July, I should have them ready next week. For the council, we'll get that event scheduled, we'll have a banner made, notifying the public, and we'll also put it up on our website, and look for the issue.
Can't hear you.
Is that line's on? It'll be up in the stadium facility.
But it's a very nice thing that we've talked about this movie night, as Mr. Esposito said, sometime in July, planning on the movie Frozen. It's a sing-along, and I'm sure we'll have a also, Kevin, I know that we paved one side of Greylock. Do you have any time frame on the other side?
Over the summer months, we'll be doing our road programs, we'll do the other side of Greylock as well.
And what's the update on that house on Greylock?
For Greylock, that's been totally closed. They're in the process of renovating the house as we
speak. I was talking to Freddie Scalera the other day with the DHS system that they were going to put in. Are we going to be able to get a briefing on that? What exactly it's going to do? I know that Deputy Chief Cumming is involved in this as well.
I can schedule it.
Yeah, I'd like to see something on that. I was just wondering if Chris Marinello and Joe Cordasco have gotten hold of the green team. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, Kevin, I know we were going back and forth with DOT about the public information center that they want to open for that one night. Do you have a solid date yet?
They're proposing some dates in June. I wanted to first get the consent of the council to allow them to use the senior facility. Once we have that, we'll look at the schedule on the senior facility and certainly make it available to them in the office.
Yeah, okay. And just for an audience, that is the NJ DOT is going to set up a little information center where we can come and ask questions to them about what their plans are for Washington Avenue paving and the intersection project that they're going to do. But we'll give you the dates.
Jeff, I want to thank you and the DPW for the cleanup at the stadium. The Buccaneer sign, baseball field, did a good job with that. Also, there is one thing I noticed. We're starting to get some cracks in the bathrooms and the concession stands. I'd like to try and get control of them before they get worse. We can spend some time there. Walls, floor? What's that? On the floor or the walls? Walls. On the walls. There was something else at the concession stand. I get to that. Memorial repairs, that's it. Communications.
A request received from Grace Baptist Church, Belleville, for permission to conduct the block party on Saturday, August 31st, from 6 to 6.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari? Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball? Be it received and seen New Jersey Department of Transportation stating transfer to respect to the chief funding of the 2014 municipal aid program for Wallace Street and Clarkson Street in the amount of $221,000. The request received from Cub Scout Pass number 350 and Boy Scout Troop number 350 for permission to utilize Fairway Field to hold their annual The Great Charity Backyard Campout from noon on Saturday, June 28th to noon on Sunday, June 29th.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball? The request received from the New Jersey Department of Transportation asking for permission to use the township building as a public information center, which will provide an open house for property owners to become informed about the Route 7 pavement reconstruction and pedestrian safety project.
We have to motion like that.
No. Communication.
Make a motion.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes, so I guess you're just gonna have to regulate that, so if you use the changes when the full time session.
Yes.
Ordinance for introduction.
Ordinance number 1 for introduction, and ordinance to amend the revised general ordinances for Township of Belleville, Chapter 8-16, handicap parking
Motion
spaces.
for introduction.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance for public hearing number 1, an ordinance to amend an ordinance creating permanent positions and adopting the classification and compensation plan.
Move it for public participation.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Number one. Make a motion to close public participation.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Ordinance number 1 for second and final reading, an ordinance to amend the ordinance creating permanent positions and adopting the classification compensation plan.
Make a motion to move for final adoption.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball? Ordinance is approved. Ordinance number 2 for public hearing, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation and to establish a cap bank.
Make a motion to open it for public participation.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Delozer?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes, Mayor, Council, what are you anticipating increase in this?
We will go to the 3.58, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna exceed the 2%. It's, you know what it is, it's a mechanism put in place every year in case you have to exceed 2%. And then we have to go to the voters anyhow. This is just the ordinance that we put in place so we can do that.
Well, you know, and every year, I'm aware of it and I oppose it every year. We have a state cap at 2%, and it's really a phony cap because I think more than half of your budget is out of caps anyway. So this, the public.
Not only our budget.
Exactly. So the state does this publicity gimmick, and the innocent people think that there's really a 2% cap in our budget. But it's not. And I ask you not to approve this and stay within the 2% cap. I mean, the average person in Belleville has to stay not only within a 2% increase, they have to live with decreases
in their income.
Well, we have to unless we get verbal approval, and we have been staying inside the 2%.
Well, maybe, and the other thing is, here we are, going into June. February 20th was the date we were supposed to, by state law, introduce the budget. A couple of meetings ago, you said, right after the election, where's the budget introduction? We're not asking for an approved budget, you're supposed to
It will be introduced next meeting.
But that's what you keep saying, but we're going into June.
Our auditors couldn't make it up here in time to finalize the budget.
Well, then fire the auditors. I mean, you're 5 months late.
All right.
State law says February 20th, introduced. And approval is supposed to be done by March 20th. Here we are going to
You want to
June.
speak on this, and I know the rules.
And no budget. I know you held it until after the election, but it's after the election.
How do you know? Maybe it'll be better.
Huh?
Maybe it'll be better than you.
Well, surprise us, man. Surprise, give us a big tax increase.
Motion to close public hearing.
I'm sorry. My name is Tom Peter. I'm the president of the Orange and NAACP.
Yeah, this is on ordinance. This is a public hearing.
Thank you. I'm glad to see you.
Just on the ordinance now. Could you just stand up and state your name?
My name is Phyllis King. I live on Grantsville Drive, Belleville. I'm talking about the 8B.
No, no public. This is only on participation. This is to review.
I just want to understand how do we get get funding for those 2 streets? How do you get funding? I want to know how you get funding for the streets. What's the funding?
Bring that up in the public participation when you said that.
Oh, okay.
Anyone to close public participation?
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Devoto?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Kimball? Ordinance number 2, second final reading, and ordinance repealing municipal budget appropriations to establish a town tax.
Move for final adoption.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Devoto?
Yes.
Nattari? Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
The ordinance is approved. Ordinance number 3 for public hearing, an ordinance of the Township of Belleville adopting the amendment to the 1992 geriatric hospital redevelopment plan.
Make a motion open for public hearing.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Devoto?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Make a motion.
Good.
What is this amendment doing to that ordinance?
It's permitting the developer to build the apartments within the footing of the geriatric building, consistent with the redevelopment plan they submitted.
Is there anything in that ordinance to protect the Great Lawn?
They don't own the Great Lawn. They have nothing to do with the Great Lawn. That's the short answer. I believe that this particular developer, from what we've been able to discern, is very sensitive to that particular piece of the property, as everybody in this room is, but they don't own that property at all.
Pertaining to that amendment, though I think I was at the planning board, I think they told me somewhere around 265 units or something. And then 240. Are we going to require them to have sufficient parking, so down the road, when we lack parking, we're going to lose the Great Lawn possibly? I mean, are we going to really, because the plan that Jones want, I have no confidence in. So they approved these things, 240 units. Are we going to have sufficient parking for residents and guests that we, down the road, can say, oh my God, look at the traffic jam there. And you just referred to the problem at school number 10 there. So are there any protections in this amendment that we're going to have sufficient parking? Just as the problem on Carpenter Street is resolved a little bit. Does that amendment cover it?
All I can say on that one, Mr. Frantantoni, is that consistent with their redevelopment plan, they would have had to provide the statutorily required number of parking spaces for that particular use, and apparently they didn't so satisfy the planning board. So
they give the variances by the dozens, the various developers. So I hope the Great Lawn protect it, and I hope we got enough parking there.
Okay.
carpenter chairs, I'm very concerned, and I don't really know what the heck this means. However, if you're saying 240 apartments will be built in that 6-story building, do they own the parking lot that aligns on Carpenter Street?
Yes.
They do own that? Okay, so that's where the parking is. Okay, that's going to allow us up.
Well,
And that's for more.
we need the plan to do the garage, too.
Parking.
Oh, underground?
Under and above.
Over the parking.
Okay.
It won't be level with the garage.
Right.
Make a motion, postpone again?
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Georgia?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball? Ordinance number 4 for second and final reading, an ordinance of the Township of Belleville adopting the amendment to the 1993 geriatric hospital redevelopment plan.
Make a motion, move for final adoption.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Georgia?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball? Ordinance is approved.
Make a motion, open public participation.
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Georgia?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg? Mayor Kimball?
When you speak, your public's allowed 5 minutes to speak.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Could these people sit down? Take a minute, let these people sit down.
If there's,
I don't think you have to do it.
There's seats over here. Why don't you come on, sit down? Some of you people. The ladies especially. Right over.
Hi, my name is Suzanne, I live at 126 12th Street, here in Belleville. I have a question. So we're talking about Belleville and Franklin, right? Belleville and,
Franklin Avenue?
Franklin, wasn't it that
Yes,
where
it's
the
traffic.
intersection was
Yes.
with the traffic? Problem is, I know that the county is in charge of that intersection, but my question is posed to the board here. Did no one review the DOT spec, the Department of Transportation spec? I know the county Department of Engineer provides that, and it also gives the township an opportunity to have a representative there. Prior to them, opening up the lights and doing a whole turn on, they have an opportunity for the township to be involved. Was anyone from this administration involved in that planning process? And if not, why not? We're going to complain about traffic. If this is what's going to happen in these meetings, we're going to complain about traffic, and you guys are going to mention it to the police department that are overwhelmed. Why do you wait this long?
We weren't, as far as I know, we weren't consulted on the changing of the lights safety. I don't believe we have said.
The township has to be advised by the
Let
county.
me ask you the question. The municipal engineer was worked in conjunction with the county engineer with regards to the traffic there. Our traffic division also reviewed the plan. The county recommended, or our engineer looked at it and said, let's give it a shot. So now we'll look at the numbers again. If we find that the accidents have increased, we can petition the county to change it.
Well, it's not just give it a shot. I know that the Department of Transportation has to be involved regarding any type of specs that are for an intersection, so that someone can review them or probably know what they were looking at concerns me.
what he was telling me is the town engineer along with the traffic crew looked at that light system, and they okayed it. So if it's not working, we'll have to change it.
Ultimately, it's the county's decision. It's not ours.
But
We can disagree all we want with the county engineer. It's his decision. It's his life. County road. Washington Avenue is a state road, that's why it's state law. Those are county roads, it's the county, not the Department of Transportation.
But the specs still have to go to the Department of Transportation. They have to get approved at the state level.
You're right, and they were met with approval by the Department of Transportation.
I
No, I understand.
just want to be more clear on that.
Absolutely.
That's not something that just happens here in the town.
No, it just don't go like that.
Yeah.
Motion closed? Oh.
No.
Good evening. My name is Tom Currier. I'm the president of Oranges and Maple with NAACP. Our unit, Belleville, is included in our technical community. I have a brief document I'd like to read. I'll give you copies thereafter, please. Approximately 3 weeks ago, our unit, Oranges and Maple, filed an open request for the Belleville Municipal City Clerk. After our open request was submitted, fax, our unit confirmed the receipt of the open request within the municipal clerk's office. As of this communication, there has been no response to our open request in regards to police and fire as far as the hiring by the municipal clerk's office. Rather than to continue to wait for a response to our earlier open request, the Oranges and Maple NAACP today has submitted a newly refined open request for our concerns. This evening, we are providing the Belleville Municipal Council with copies of our refined open request. This communication is seeking copies of the Belleville Municipalities 2013, 2012, and 2008 Employee Information Report, known as EDO-1. On another matter, our unit finds the recent recorded remarks of Councilwoman Marie Burke's reprehensible. The Oranges and Maple NAACP unit strongly believes that the recorded remarks reflect an insensitivity and overt hostility towards people of color. Therefore, at the most recent meeting of the Executive Committee of our unit, a unanimous resolution was adopted demanding that Councilwoman Marie Burke immediately resign from the Belleville Democratic County Committee chairpersonship that she currently holds. In addition, we encourage all Belleville Democratic County Committee representatives to nominate another individual to the position for the upcoming new term. The Oranges and Maple unit of the NAACP will be monitoring the events that are pertinent to this demand. Let it be understood that should Councilman Marie Burke not resign, or if she is re-elected to serve in the capacity of Belleville Democratic County Committee chairperson, our unit will demand that the Essex County Democratic Party leadership remove Ms. Burke from her Democratic leadership position. The Democratic Party of Essex County must have no place for an elected official such as Ms. Burke, who has clearly demonstrated overt racist attitudes towards constituents who compose an essential voting bloc within the Democratic Party. Thank you.
My name is Short, representative for OPIU, DPW on tonight. I have a letter that we want to present to the council. I have copies for everyone, asking that Councilwoman Burke retract her statement that she made in a letter that was sent to all Belleville residents. And in this letter, it stated that the DPW workers was being compensated for work that was done during the snowstorm. Overtime was given by Kennedy and Kimball, and I want Councilwoman Burke to know that's not true. Our contract, which you signed off on, allows the administration to hire, fire, give overtime, and all. And I would ask, without asking the past, that you would apologize to the DPW workers, because some of them felt harassed. Some of them didn't want to go into neighborhoods where they were all, thinking people would think the same way that you thought. And also, the tape that was sent off, I ask that you review it if you think it's wrong. So I have a copy. I would like for you to send these copies out to everyone that you sent your letter to. Okay, because these are lies and false accusations. And maybe you forgot that that's your right as a member. When it was overtime, I remember the winter we had. And there's a misspelled word to be storm.
I had occasion, I'm district leader. I know you don't think much of that, but I get a lot of calls.
Why do you say that?
Because one time you said, so what?
If I didn't, I don't remember.
And I was proud, and I said, I'm district leader of Ward 2, and you said, so what?
I don't remember.
Anyway, that a lot of people call me, and today was one such day. And you know what? I keep telling them, I get most of my information from the town calendar. And it did say that the town hall was closed yesterday and there would be no pickup. However, you should put another little sentence there, when will be the next pickup? So I called, and I don't know who I spoke to. I know it wasn't Raymond, I know it wasn't Anthony. But somebody on 3412 picked up, and they told, nice voice, and he told me he would call Roselli and call me back. Okay, it was around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Okay, so I waited patiently, and I had to go. I do volunteer work, I had to leave. And I thought, none of us didn't call back. Okay, I got home at 2 o'clock. Guess what? There was a message. I just want to apologize for what I was thinking, and I want to thank whoever it was. Also, I looked at my calendar, and guess what? It ends in July. Are we going to get a new calendar from July on? I use that all the
We're
time.
going to keep it guessing. We're going to keep it guessing. No, of course we're going to
Okay, Kelly, are you working on it?
No, it doesn't work on it.
Okay, on the collecting one. Thank you.
No, Liz, that's not, you can't.
Only get one?
That's it. One shot.
You only get one, one.
You have 5 minutes left, you're finished.
I didn't have.
He didn't have 5 minutes.
Regarding that school 10 problem that we have up there, what Councilman Nicosia proposed, I proposed over 10 years ago, but not going out to Franklin Avenue. That's dangerous because there'll be no light there. People will be jumping out. They don't care. They'll be jumping into the flow of traffic. What I had suggested, close to the first building, the residential area, get to the side, the back street, that Smallwood Avenue, whatever, because that's a dead end. So they could exit there, no traffic over there, and you would have a fence, just one line of traffic going there. The other thing, I understand the chief can't assign a police officer all the time. However, we got the meter enforcement personnel on Washington Avenue. The sign says from 9 to 6. Why are they cruising there at 8 o'clock in the morning? I don't know why, but they're not needed because they can't give summonses at 8 o'clock in the morning. But maybe they can be positioned up there to chase some people from the double, and as Mr. Kennedy, not only double, triple park. Now my wife and I said, not only do they double and triple park, they leave their vehicle with the motors running and go into the school. You know, I've seen buses there, couldn't get by for 5-10 minutes at a time. But why can't one of these enforcement officers go up there and move the traffic? Occasionally a school has the janitor out there shooing people away. You got this all shut a whole hour, till 9 o'clock they can't enforce the meeting. Also, resolution number 8, the accelerated tax sale. I don't agree with the state allowing this. In these tough times, people can't afford, they're losing their jobs and all. Why are we, I believe we're going to the tax sale at 11 months now instead of a year. Is that correct?
That's sort of held in December.
But it's an Excel, but it's a month earlier. Yeah. Can't we have some compassion from people? You know, people are hurting, like I said, losing their jobs, and here we are, pushing them into foreclosure a month earlier. Instead, I mean, compassion, people would say, let's give them an extra month instead of taking a month away from them.
Unfortunately, that comes in discuss to the current year's budget. So you ask the mayor and council to control the spending. It's very difficult to control the spending and keep the budget in check if we relax our rules on revenue.
Well, you know, I'm here every meeting, and
I know that.
I only have 5 minutes, but it would take 5 days to give you all the outrageous spending, wasteful spending that we've done here. So these poor people are hurting. I have to give them credit. Also, there was a while ago, Councilman Kennedy gave me confidential police documents detailing specific criminal investigations. I don't recall a resolution on the agenda requesting his resignation. Is that
I'm not aware of it.
And also, I returned them to the police chief with several people and a reporter present.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You're lying. I didn't give you the documents. Henry Charzinski gave you the documents. Murphy looked into that, and he interviewed Henry, and Henry's the one that gave them to you. That's a false statement you just made, because they looked into that. You stood up there and said, oh, here's all the documents Mr. Kennedy brought to my house and all. So Henry Charzinski called him up, he talked to Henry, and Henry's the one who gave you the documents. So you're wrong.
Henry gave me the tons of other documents in black bags that he gave to Henry.
Yeah, I didn't give Henry those documents.
Let me finish speaking. That specific one, he went out that door, opened the door, called my wife, said, Phyllis, come around there, and handed them to my wife. On the folder, which before I gave it to the chief, I took pictures of it. So Phyllis and Vinny, Kevin Kennedy called me, and his 2 phone numbers.
Yeah, but what was it? There wasn't no police documents.
That was police documents.
You're full of it.
And it was a ream of information about Audubon Place, all the state inspections.
Yeah, that isn't on.
And the 65 pages of police documents about criminal investigations. And I made Joe Rotunda sign a letter that I returned them to him specifying exactly what was given.
Well, it wasn't from me.
It was from you.
No, it wasn't. It was from Henry.
It's got your signature. No, Henry gave me all the other stuff that you gave him over the years. And I'm glad I brought it out publicly because I stopped getting all that stuff from you.
Good.
And I also got, you personally handed to me the Board of Education budget a few years ago,
Well,
a couple of years, but with a letter, please, Vinny, go through and see where we can make cuts.
So what's wrong with that?
I gave you 2 pages of cuts, you didn't do a thing about it. And the other thing you did is, you people obviously respect me because when you were running in 2006, my wife and I were shopping at Franklin Center, and Kimball, and you, Mayor Kimball, and you called me over. Vinny, can you help us with the budget? Remember you gave me the budget?
So what's wrong with that?
Because I gave you 2 pages of cuts to make, and you didn't do it. You spent the entire $7.1 million surplus in spite of you were going to give us a $300 tax reduction.
We brought houses with us.
Right.
We didn't do nothing for the town. What term are you going in?
Finally,
You don't see your
Mr. Murphy got up and said those documents weren't confidential. So I asked him, I'm going to ask again, can I have them back now? If they
No,
weren't
for the town documents. Why
My
do you
wife-
want it back? You make copies of everything, so you probably have copies.
I did not make copies of it.
Oh, please.
I
I got the original at home. I got the original at home. I got the original at home. How do you get all these originals?
No.
Oh, they were thrown out in the dumpster.
I took a picture of the cover of the folder, Mr.
Yeah, I know, we heard
Kennedy,
that. We heard that.
And you can bloviate all you want, but you have...
You bloviate pretty good.
Yeah, but I have facts to back it up.
Yeah. That's why
And
you're
you have
going off.
nothing but your big mouth. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
asking
all
the
right.
town attorney if he says they're not confidential, and I asked him about 2 years ago, he said, right, let me review them again, and I'll get them back to you. Did you review them, Mr. Murphy?
I don't know what documents you're talking about.
I
I really don't know what documents you're talking about.
When there's only 3 or 4 of us, you people know everything. And now you got the public here, you don't know a thing.
What I'm telling you is, I don't know the documents that you're talking about. You refer to a lot of documents in here. How many years ago are you going back now?
I'll give you the letter that I gave back.
Well, then show me the letter. Refresh my recollection. I'll be happy to discuss whatever you want to in front of
It
everybody.
was 60-some odd pages
Of what?
of police investigation of Audubon Place.
I don't know, Mr. Prince Antoni. I don't know what documents, I don't know what documents. If you gave them to me, I read them. But I don't know what you're referring to now.
I gave them to the police chief, and he signed the letter in front of 5 witnesses and the newspaper reporter with me, who then reported in the press. It was in the press that I handed these over to them, specifically.
But you didn't give them to me.
You then at the next meeting said you got it from the chief and you're reviewing them. And you're going to look back at them.
If I know what if you can point me to the correct documents, I can give you my answer.
I'm telling you, I gave the chief, and I'm giving you exactly. So, maybe you can put that resolution on the agenda.
No, I don't think so. I just got re-elected, how the way he gets off. At least I'm not a racist.
That's right.
In regard to the intersection of Belleville Avenue and Franklin Avenue, we know what an issue that is. We have done this at some of the other schools, and I know that the frontage at School 10 is not as significant as in some other schools, but have we considered a curb cut in that area? That would at least keep the traffic flowing.
Board property knows the problem. We have to, I mean, that would have to be done by the Board of Education. We might be able to assist in a certain amount, certain degree, but it's really Board of Education project. I'm sure our town engineer will have to work in coordination with him, but it's a good idea.
We have had curb cuts at other schools in town, and it really has worked for safety. And we've done it on streets that are not as critical, but not as critical as the issue we're dealing with Belleville Avenue. And that might be something that we and Board of Ed might have some dialogue on.
Sure. Thank you. Please.
I was here before about the streets for the potholes. Now, Public Works that came, my name is Rose King. I live on Branswood Drive. This is for Public Works. Now, when they came to fix the street on Branswood Drive and Kelly Avenue, they put the tar in the hole, and that's it. They didn't pave it down. Now, all the tar is off and out, and the hole is back again. I want to find out, when is the next fiscal cycle? Could you plan it for a new street to be put in for Branswood Drive and Columbia Avenue for the next fiscal cycle?
I don't have the list, but they could be on the list right now, Bob. If not,
Okay, the reason why, because I see that it says here in the 8B.
no, that's,
What is this for?
they're already funded by the DOT.
Oh, okay, Department of Transportation.
We usually get a grant from the county to,
Okay, well, the reason why, that's why I put in my Facebook now, so you can get the grant,
we'll talk to them.
This concludes the 61
Say they don't know.
Franklin Avenue between Chestnut and Liberty. I think public service has done some repair work. Well, the patch is caving in, there's significant holes there. It's near 470 Franklin. Also, again, I know it's a county road. There was just another accident about a week ago on Franklin and Continental at intersection, which is notorious. I mean, Marie's cousin Vinny could tell you that stretch is hideous for accidents. Anyway, if you're coming north, the speed limit is 35. I think once you get to the residential and then by the chandelier and all that, it's still 35. It's signed right in front of the chandelier. If the county could knock that, at least knock the speed down to 25 or something, it might help.
We'll make that for people.
Okay, thank
Florence Festival, Greenlock Parkway. I understand that Public Works on Monday to take down some newspapers. I think it's a disgrace of the out-of-town people that are dumping debris in Belleville that our Public Works people have to spend the whole day cleaning up, when they could be doing other things in town that are necessary. There are a lot of landscapers bringing their garbage down there, and it's terrible. What can we do to try to stop it? Because we're paying to have that taken out of there after it's all dumped up for debris from other towns. Can we have the police circle around there a little more? I know that right now we're a little short, but not in a police car, because that's too outstanding. But I think it's terrible that our men have to pick up, it's all the way out into the street, and that they have to spend the whole day of their time when they could be doing other things, rather than picking up debris from other towns.
Chad, aren't you video monitoring that? They don't monitor. We need another camera to get a little more isolated, but if there's a landscape or there's a name on it, we certainly can pick that up.
I got into an argument with one of them down there Monday.
Don't do that.
From out of town. It's my taxes.
I know that, but so often happens, you people get one crazy.
Maybe some people don't care what happens to them.
Caller, please. You take the plate number down, you can make a police report, and that's all it needs.
Okay, so there's a contractor, I recognize a few names, and, you know, I didn't have a book to write tickets, otherwise I would have done a good job at it. When they do Great Lock Parkway, can they please do something about that island? You know, the name sounds impressive, but the island is not impressive. Something really needs to be done while that road is being worked on. That would be very much appreciated. And as far as the schools for traffic, it's all over. You go right by number 5 school. I have to go 2 blocks out of my way to get around the school, because when I leave my driveway, I can only go one way, up the hill. I can't turn and go. I watched a young mother let the kid out of the car and make a U-turn right in the middle of the block by the door after she let the kid out of the car. So, you know, these parents aren't paying any attention. They drive like maniacs on this road, and I don't know where they think they are, you know, that they make these crazy turns and everything. There's plenty of room to park around the school, but God forbid they should have to walk a minute to the door. You know, it's a little exercise. But that's all over. And also the daycare on Union Avenue. They're triple parked all the time, and they're coming to pick up their kids. I remember when I went before one of the boards, when they were going to put that daycare in there, and the people that applied for it, oh, we're going to park across the street. You know, there's nobody across the street. They don't park across the street. They're double and triple parked. I watched the policeman the other day. He was blowing his horn there, that siren, standing behind the guy, and the guy paid no attention to the police car, who was telling him to get out of the way. And I just have one other question, Mr. Esposito. Was using yesterday the senior building there for whatever they're going to do with the Route 7 here. The thing is, they're going to have certain hours where they're going to sit, what they're going to do. I mean, you know, it's not going to interfere with what goes on down there.
No, they want to use the facilities in the evening, should not be more than 2 hours.
Oh, all right. It's not the daytime, though.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Rita Charles, Staples Avenue. I just wanted to find out, Resolution 18, does the governing body of the Township of Belleville have the right to request the resignation and the removal of work, or do we have to wait for the 2 years for the election and let the people from the first ward make that decision?
The only thing we can do is request it, because she doesn't have to abide by it, but that's the only thing this council, that's the only action this council can take.
Jeff Mattingly, 56 Walnut. Mr. Councilman Joseph, good to see you. Your animation, and we wish you bad for taking your course and remained on council. Mrs. Burke, Councilwoman Burke, I would like to know if you plan to mount a legal defense to clear your name. It would involve depositions and, under oath. And if you don't care to answer, I understand that.
I don't care to answer that.
Okay, well, in view of that, and the fact that, and I'm very happy to see you, sir, representing the NAACP, because I believe that we all pretty much know for a fact, in spite of the letter that you sent out, that it is your voice, it is Sammy Papa's voice, and the fact of the matter is that your letter declaring that if you're 100% sure it is not your voice, I think pretty much falls on hollow ears there. We just can't get with that, get behind it. And if you will not resign, then I believe you should be recalled.
Speak for yourself.
I believe that what you have said is not simply dismissible, and that this council cannot move on with you sitting there. That there's a cloud over Belleville. And we are in the parliamentary joke. And I think that you should be involved.
Ask Kennedy why you held it so long.
I have the floor for a moment, please. And I'm sorry if you don't like what I have to say, but the fact is it's my right to say it. And I think that it is, in fact, something that this council will be able to get passed. And if you're not going to clear your name legally, then it stands to be true. That's my name.
Joe Fortunato, 523 Union Avenue, Belleville. First, I'd like to ask, first I want to congratulate the mayor and Mr. Kennedy for their election. Mr. Mayor, now, on July 1st, I assume we're going to have taken the oaths in your position. Now, we're going to have a man here that was elected by default because he was forced to run by someone else resigning. Now, if he's going to take the oath and he's under scrutiny with the state investigator, and maybe there's possible charges of nepotism, conflict of interest, fraud, misuse of town funds, and many more. Now, could this man take the oath that he's going to obey the laws of honesty in the state of New Jersey, in the township of Belleville, when he's under a cloud from the Board of Education? He's still going to take an oath, Mr. Attorney?
So we have to...
Well, Mr. Fortunato, to answer that question, with regard to Mr. Longo's election, the voters have spoken. And Mr. Longo is qualified to take the oath, and I believe he's going to take the oath. If you remember, this is a case where you're in effect trying to remove someone from an office that to which they've been lawfully elected. The only way to do that is by a recall or lack of a better word, impeachment. I think we all remember, some of us do, maybe dating myself, there was a congressman in New York who preceded Charlie Randall. His name was Adam Clayton Powell. And his colleagues in the Congress voted to remove him from his seat. He went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the United States said no one in the United States of America, the voters make that determination. So he was restored to his seat. So notwithstanding your comments, I'm quite certain that Mr. Longo will be taking the oath of office.
If some of these charges are positive with some of the crew members from the state investigator, he's still allowed to take the oath?
He will still be able to take the, even unless you're convicted. Even if you're convicted of a crime, then the prosecutor or the attorney general has to move to have you forfeit your office.
Okay. Now, in regards for this newspaper that's on the billboards today, everything's about the Board of Education, television, computers, on all your newscasts the last couple of weeks. We're in a hole for millions of dollars. Now, how could this man serve on the board of the council if he's spending millions of dollars that we owe, and we're going to get taxed crazy from the Board of Education? Like Mr. Tony said before, I hope you hold your 2% cap, because we have to show the taxpayers where the fault lies. And all the newspapers have said that. And the public knows where it lies. So I just hope you people do your job on the budget.
Unfortunately, though, in regards to that remark, the council gets blamed for any tax hike, whether it comes from us, the Board of Education, or the county. The council gets the blame for it. So
well, we have to emphasize where it's coming from, because in the past months we know where it's going to come from. Now, we had a man named the Essex County Veteran of the Year. Yesterday, I was the chairman of the Veterans Council of Belleville, which does a good job honoring the dead veterans on Memorial Day, and the parade which we run with your allowance of the money you present. This man that was named the Veteran of the Year from the county, he didn't show up at the cemetery for 3,600 men that passed away at Glendale. He wasn't at any of the services for Memorial Day yesterday. This is a shame. This man should resign.
He's a veteran right
All
here.
I'm trying to say is, we had services for the dead veterans yesterday, and the man that was supposed to be the Veteran of the Year never showed up. Thank you very
We got our
much.
own here. We got a 95-year-old veteran here. George Precioso.
George M. White, 127 Stevens Street. I'd like to commend John and Tori for coming up with ideas that will bring the community together. Things like this, I know Maplewood, they have movie night, Lyndhurst, there are other municipalities around us that have movie night, and give an opportunity for the residents to come out and bring their children. And things like that will help to reunite our community and have a positive influence. Another issue is school number 1. I know that it has been purchased, but with the rain, the amount of rain that we've had over the past few weeks, it's in need of being cut, the weeds and the grass. So if that can be addressed. Also, there are other issues that were given to me by other residents. The concerns of quality of life, the public drinking on Washington Avenue concerns for one of the citizens who often walks down Washington Avenue with their children. Also, there's an area between Dow and Belleville Avenue where there's a sign that restricts the truck over 2 tons in that area. But the sign has been knocked down, she said, for some time, and trucks do go through that area. They're very small streets, and it is a quality of life infringement. There's a lot of vibrations, a lot of noise, so somebody can look into that. And I do believe I spoke to Councilman Kennedy concerning the tree that was stuck into the aerial wires on Myrtle Avenue. So we thank you for addressing that and sending that information over to the DPW on behalf of those concerned citizens. Again, I also like to congratulate Mayor Kimball and Councilman Kennedy on their re-election. It is my hope that going forward, the council can work together for the betterment of the community in the manner in which they have been. Thank you.
Me? Okay. I know I have 5 minutes. My name is Richard Butler. I'm a 20-year resident of Belleville. I'm here on behalf of Marie and this racing thing going on. I want to tell you, I have known Marie for 10 years. I go to her house, she comes to mine. In case you don't notice, I am a biracial woman with a Caucasian father and a black woman. Any person in here, everybody talks down on other races, whether you admit it or not. I admit it because I make Mexican jokes all the time. I am not a racist. Marie is not a racist, and that's the last thing you could ever say about her. I have plenty of respect, and I enjoyed all of this very much. Thank you. Oh, and I'm moving from Belleville to Somerset, and could you please fix your raggedy streets before I tear up my Cadillac?
You have 3 minutes left.
I'm done. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I have a cold, and I'm sick.
Any motion closed?
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Hi, my name is Christine Washington Avenue. I came here to Sorry.
be loud. Oh, wait, excuse me. My My name is Christine Hirsch, and I'm on Washington Avenue. My daughter is a graduate of middle school. She went through the middle school, and she's going to be graduating this year. On behalf of Maurice Burke, she has been very instrumental and has always done well by all the children at number 4. She embraces my daughter. My daughter is biracial. She's an adopted family member. I have grown biracial nieces and nephews as well. I have friends of every color, race, religion, and I don't consider her to be a racist. I also think when someone says in private, should be kept in private. And I think it's disgraceful that this tape came out at a time when Marie could have won the election and continue to do well by the I also take exception to Minister Kennedy calling this gentleman a liar. I find that more egregious than the comments that were made. We all hate something at some time. The Catholic Church hates people. The Jewish community hates people. The Christian community hates people. Atheists hate people. Everyone hates something. But what you say in private, what you do in your own home, should be allowed to be kept there. And I just wanted to make that point. So thank you.
Any motion to close?
Second.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Decosa?
Yes.
Nattari? Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Make a motion to move to consent agenda. Poll number 1.
It's 1,
1/8/15
15, 18.
and 18.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Decosa?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Resolution number 4.
Full voucher 14-01122. In favor of the copy, always $50 per month. That's one resolution.
Councilmember Cosarelli? Kennedy? Decosa?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Resolution number 8.
Move it.
Second.
Number 8. I agree wholeheartedly with Mr. Francis about the accelerated tax sale. Everyone seated here that owns a home and that cannot pay their mortgage, this pertains to all of you. And what do they want to do? They want to make sure before Christmas, I think it's around October or November, that you have to pay up your money. How dare they do that when people are struggling to even feed their families? So I vote definitely no on that.
I feel like if we don't do the accelerated tax sale, people are not paying taxes, so it's going to have to be made up by other people that are.
Not only that, it was a 5-year.
Or not.
Right.
Right, the budget deficit, so these people in the
Right.
audience will have to make it up.
You'll have to make them out there.
It was a 5-year agreement to keep the budget going. So it has to be done for the next 5 years.
Okay. Clerk will roll on resolution 8.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Decosa?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor
Yes.
Kimball?
Resolution number 15.
Mayor, if I can answer that resolution to be defeated, that resolution doesn't say what it should say. I have one for new business. Resolution 15 corrects something that was previously corrected. But under new business, and this pertains to the proposed redevelopment on Northern Washington Avenue, under new business, what I'm going to ask the governing body to consider is when the area is considered as an area in need of redevelopment, that it be done without eminent domain, so the Belleville doesn't condemn the property and have to buy it. That was the purpose of putting this on tonight, and I have the new language. So I'm going to distribute it, but please defeat number 15.
Move it. Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
No.
Kennedy?
No.
Nicosia?
No.
Nattari?
No.
Robel?
No.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor Kimball? Resolution defeated.
Resolution 18.
Regarding resolution number 18, resolution of the governing body of the town of Belleville requesting the resignation of me. First, I would like to congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, on your years. I hope that you will accept this election graciously. The election is over, and in your own words, you say that we need to move forward. So let's get started. No governing body has the authority to force me to resign. I will continue to serve the First Ward residents along with all the Belleville residents until May of 2016. The resounding votes from the First Ward are proof that the residents want me to continue to serve them. I pledge here today that I will work tirelessly, as I have done for the last 10 years, and I will continue to finish the remainder of my term. God willing, I hope to run again in 2016.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nicosia?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Shame, shame. Shame, shame. She didn't run dirty politics.
Yeah, all right. Please, $200,000. I want to take resolution number 1 off the table.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nicosia?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor Kimball?
I want to add Robert Cosarelli's name to that committee and pass the resolution.
You have to take somebody else, Joe, or is that-
No.
I'll second it. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nicosia?
Yes.
Nattari? Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
No.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes. New business.
Resolution amending resolution number 1459, amending resolution number 14-4, and further amending resolution number 13230 entitled, Resolution authorizing and directing the planning board of the Township of Belleville to investigate whether property located at 630 Washington Avenue and 632 Washington Avenue listed as block 9101 lot 9, block 9101 lot 10, and block 9103 lot 1, also known as the Kitty Place. Block 901, lot 14, block 10,002, lot 1, and a portion of block 9,002, lot 1. On the Township of Belleville tax map should be designated as an area in need of redevelopment. To clarify, that area is proposed as a non-convention redevelopmental area. Move it.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Cosarelli?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Nicosia?
Yes.
Nattari?
Yes.
Robel?
Yes.
Strumelberg?
Yes.
Mayor Kimball?
Yes.
Resolution approved.
New business. Kevin?
Nope.
Nope. John? No.
Yes,
Motion adjourned.
On your motion?
Second.
Aye.